From time to time, we like to take a look at some cool budget options for filmmakers and even certain photographers that need an external HDMI monitor. And I'm actually using one right now with my T3, and I've used them with the T2 and some other cameras, and I find them very handy, although I like to stick below a 5.5-inch screen. So we've got an interesting one this time from Feelworld, and it's the Feelworld LUT7S 4K touchscreen field monitor. It's a very interesting number as it comes on just over £300, but it's, well, first of all, 7-inch, 4K capable, 2200 nits daylight viewable, but it has waveforms, which is something that wasn't really thought of or expected on a sub $500 monitor. So does this stick to the usual pretty decent value reputation that Feelworld have, or is it a bit of a duff? Let's take a look up close. Let's take a look at what we get then. Just slide that away, get that out there. We've got a user manual, which if you fancy pausing anywhere, feel free to pause. Looks like business as usual compared to the other monitors that we've looked at, obviously with some additional functionality, but I think we'll get through without that. Let's do it the manly way and not bother. Let's move that to the side. Flick this open to reveal HDMI cable with adapter right there, and nice solid metal tilt arm, business as usual. In fact, what I'm currently using up there, very similar, and I'm using the cold shoe adapter to mount my Rode Wireless Go. Simple, seems to be well built. We shall see very shortly. And now the monitor itself. Across the top we've got 3 function buttons, a menu dial which feels fine, little button in there. F3 is good, F2 and F1, something funky is going on there. Let's see in practice, but I'm not convinced that they're working. We shall see. 1/4-inch screw thread there, on-off touch there, and a headphone jack there. So if you don't have a headphone jack on your camera body, you can listen to the audio, you can monitor the audio from your camera via the HDMI feed, which also of course brings the audio into this monitor, and you can listen to it that way. Very handy. On the bottom we've got a DC out, DC in, HDMI out, HDMI in, and of course a 3/4 slot. And importantly for some of you, the SD card slot there, which lets you use LUTs, lets you put them straight in and see what you're intending to get in the software afterwards right away. That could be handy for some of you. You can see there's 2 bays for your MPF Sony ubiquitous batteries right there, both with little pushes there so you can unlock them, and it's as simple as that. Interestingly, there's no hood included. What you see on the table is what I received, other than Feelworld sending me a cap and a bag and a t-shirt for some reason. Anyway, no hood, so this daylight viewable screen, as they like to let you know, 2200 nits daylight viewable, this is going to need to be very good, because I'm not even sure you can even fit a hood to this. Possibly you could easily MacGyver something there, the old MacGyver, not the new MacGyver. And basically it doesn't come with batteries either, and therefore doesn't come with a charger, doesn't come with a DC cable. But consider the budget, all those extras would add to that, and for the most part you've probably got those bits already in your kit. Let's get this on the T3, get out and stop waffling. Might even put it on the T2 too. Let's turn on this screen. There we go. That's how long it takes to come on. It's not too bad, it's not instant, but it's ready to go. We're shooting with the XF35 1.4 on the T2 at the moment, so there's the HDMI going into the monitor there. It's a 4K feed going into a 1080p monitor, and to all intents and purposes looks absolutely fine. Now I can zoom in, although clearly it's not zooming in as you would do, not zooming in particularly clear, but you can see what's going on, especially you can see where your focus starts and stops. That's dead simple. Now, as I said, only my F3 button works, and that gets me all my waves, which is actually pretty handy. Along the bottom, if we swipe up, we've got a bunch of options here. Sorry about that flickering, I'm going over the eye sensor on the X-T3 by accident. So safety markers, center markers, let's turn that back on, marker mats, false colors, you can access very quickly there, and also turn your LUT on and off. Now, if I think double click here, tap here, there we go. We've got a bunch of options, including your general settings, screen settings, waves. You can have all, as we saw with the N3 button, or you can have parade, YUV, RGB individually, vector individually up in that corner, RGB histogram, your regular histogram, let's turn those off, and the audio meter, which I'll have that. If we go up here, we've got the scan modes, flip modes in case you physically turn your screen around, freeze, pixel to pixel. You can zoom in on the image using that option in there too. Again, the grid options here, safety markers, marker mat alpha. Let's get this recording here just for the sake of it. And now focus assist, I've got it set to blue. You can change the levels of that, you can change the colors. Let's leave it on blue for now. Let's turn it off actually. Zebra mode, which also allows you to change the value of it. Currently I've got it on 80%. Monochrome, blue, green, red, grey, and again false colours in there if you want a more permanent setting. So we appear to have turned the zebras off. Let's turn that back on, and then we're good to go. This setup feels absolutely fine. I like the fact that I can change the angles even more than just back and forwards. You can get a bit of a horizontal and a vertical, and we'll have a look at that again in a moment. I'm not entirely sure just how strong these points will be after some good use and abuse, and as you can see, you can basically see what's going on nice and clear. I'm actually standing off to the side of it now and everything is fine. I'm going to have a little bit more of a play with this thing and then let you know, well, in YouTube terms, in a couple of seconds, which won't be an actual couple of seconds because, well, I need some more extreme sunlight for a start, and yeah, anyway, you're probably bored of this image. Time for a very strange but useful latency test now, which is something else that is very important with a monitor setup like this. So here goes. I apologize for the inception or whatever, but I think you'll get the idea of whether or not we can use it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you reckon? Seems all right. Oops. There we go then, an overview of a very nice 7-inch touchscreen monitor. I'm very glad I've had my hands on this now for a little while, and yes, the sun has come out, making it a little bit awkward. But very nice, even on lockdown. Now, as you can see, the screen is not immune to reflections. Naturally, you'd have to go to some serious budget to avoid that and get some special Tony Stark's style glass, but it's very usable outside, even though right now I can see reflections and whatever. And you know, as I move it around, you can still see some, but it's still very usable. Things are still very clear. I do like the touch features that are easy to operate. Takes a little bit of getting used to, but very simple. Obviously, it's not going to be as good as your smartphone screen, but it's not like those old GPS TomTom screens. It's actually very nice, and most importantly, the clarity is, as far as I can tell, superb. The colors that are there, that are represented, are as I would expect from, well, in this case the T3, over there the T4. T4 doesn't necessarily need this, does it? Anyway, can you hear that? For the grand old current price of £332.36 on Amazon at the time of recording. I'll put a link below anyway. I think it's really good, really well capable. I think I was getting around 45 minutes battery life with one battery. So you can double that at the very least and get a higher capacity battery. Forgot what one I've got in there now, but you can get higher capacity Sony batteries and put them in there. I've lost 2 bars of battery in about, I don't know, 20 minutes. Not too bad. So 2 batteries, higher capacity. Anyway, yeah, very, very nice. And the size of it will make it very handy, maybe doubled up with a Wi-Fi device so it can just be viewed in the hand while your director is there, your camera operator is here, he's over there with his screen, and of course there are systems where you can have multiple screens in use. Anyway, very nice, especially for a budget filmmaking sort of crew, but I'm going to be using it myself. It's a little bit of overkill, but it does the job, and it will stop me from squinting all the time in the sun. Anyway, leave a comment below, let us know if you've used this or anything similar that you would recommend, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, take it easy.